Governor Chris Sununu signed a bill this summer to try to limit state and local law enforcement from enforcing federal gun laws. Do you think this construct could be extrapolated to other areas of federal law like drug, labor, or education policy? Namely, if voters elect you, are there federal laws you would bar state agencies from enforcing? Mr. Riley.
That's a great question. I will tell you this. Medical freedom is an important issue today for Granite Staters, and everywhere I go, I've heard people talk about this. They don't want unconstitutional pushes into their house, into the decisions that they want to make every day. We're the Republican Party. We're Americans. We love this country. We love the freedom that we fought for. More and more, the Joe Biden administration has been overreaching their powers of the federal government. So I call it the anti-red flag law was important because it pushed back on what the unconstitutional move towards gun owners was. But I can see this with medical freedom. I can see this with indoctrination of our kids today in schools. I can see this with all kinds of different ideologies that are coming out of the swamp. It's important that we build legislation. And I want to give kudos to our state legislators who've been fighting the good fight despite Governor Sununu's vetoes again and again. And that is what they're going to have in a governor when I win the primary. They're going to have somebody who signs things into law that makes sense, doesn't play games, and is there for them every day.
So to be clear, are you saying there are federal laws you would bar state agencies from enforcing?
If there are new laws that come that prohibit medical freedom, that's important. If the National School Board Association, they try to push stuff on us, the National Education Department, we're going to push back against them. So I love what we did with the gun laws. It's important to understand that more laws and more push mandates is the word I'm looking for from the Joe Biden administration. We're going to push back.
Mr. ACR, same question.
Hell yes. Exactly. I would sure as hell use the power as a governor to fight against the federal legislation, the Biden administration. The reality is when it comes to issues like abortion, when it comes to issues like Second Amendment rights, when it comes to issues like education or, say, mandates of any kind or gay marriage, these are all issues that right here in New Hampshire, I think we have the right solutions for. I think when you're serving Granite Staters, you need to put them first and foremost in your mind. Not cameras, not polling, not future aims at political office. We only serve Granite Staters, and the states made the federal government, not the other way around. So you're damn right I would.
Mrs. Testerman, if voters elect you, are there federal laws you would bar state agencies from enforcing?
Absolutely. We have a state sovereignty that we're supposed to be protecting, and when you take an oath of office, you say that you're going to uphold the state, the Constitution of the state of New Hampshire first, and overreach by the federal government is not allowed. Not only that, we need constitutional sheriffs that are going to understand that they are the only elected law enforcement in the state, and that it's their responsibility also to tell the federal agents that they're not supposed to be here. In fact, federal agents are supposed to check in with our county sheriffs before they take any action within the county. So absolutely.